Hello and welcome to another episode. This is the third episode of This Is Who I Am Now. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jane Jackson. I am creator of the Heart of Healing community. I am an energy healer and a spiritual coach myself. And if you've seen some of the other episodes, then you'll know a bit more about me. So I'll just share what it is, a little bit about what I do and how you can work with me towards the end. But it's my absolute pleasure to be joined today by Amanda Farrar. Words won't come out. Amanda Farrar and Margarita van der Harst. And I'm going to start with Margarita. So Margarita, can you just tell me a little bit about what it is that you're doing now? Now, I know that you are a soul releasing psychic. And yeah, just tell me a little bit more about that and what it is you do and how you work with clients.
Hi everyone. I am Margarita. I am from the Netherlands, so this is why my name is almost unpronounceable. I am a soul reading psychic, and this means that I can communicate with souls. I can communicate with my higher self, and I have a huge team of non-physical around me. And basically what I do is help you release from your soul or body or mind what you do not longer need in your life. And I have been working for about 2 years now with people who are willing and open to work on themselves and finally get rid of what happened to them. Because what I believe is that your past should stay in the past and not influence you on the daily basis. My journey was actually, I was born 41 years ago and into a family with a mom and a dad, and later I got a brother and a sister. And my life has been, I'm not going to say difficult, but yes, it was difficult. So from a really young age, I knew something. I knew there was more to life than what we were experiencing. And also I knew from a really young age that my mom was going to die. So I had feelings about things that might happen in the future. And this is exactly what happened.
Can I just ask, so at that stage, was it more of a psychic knowing that something was going to happen? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I've always had, I always had the feeling that I was different. And I am. And in my youth, it was not a pleasant feeling because I was left out, I was bullied. My mom didn't get me. And it was a taboo to know more than others, so I hid it. And then sort of the shit show happened when I was about 12. Then one of my uncles died. And my mom got sick when I was 14, I guess. Yeah. And she died a few months later. And after that, one of my best friends died. And then a friend died. And then I went in therapy. And this lady died as well. So I had a whole range of people dying around me. So my adult years, the years from 12 to 17, I guess, were just, kill me now.
That's a lot. That's a lot for a teenager to process, isn't it?
That was, but also on the other hand, I had this feeling like I don't want to do more, and I was so drawn to spiritual stuff like card readings, and I did Reiki when I was 17, Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. Wow. I could magnetize then, and I went to all sorts of spiritual healings to get rid of all the feelings that I had, and from then until 4 years ago, I started my awakening. I really started feeling what happened to me. And I started to realize that I had abilities. And I started to realize that this was the direction I had to go.
Mm.
And I started to realize that I was a healer. And I always knew this sort of, but I never worked on it. And it was only 2 years ago, I guess, when I really started to work with my psychic abilities and found out that they were spot on. And I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? But what is happening is that I can see, when I'm working with people, I can see who they are. And that is something I can hold in my imagination. I can allow their higher selves and their guides to work on them to release. And I can help them releasing also locked and hidden memories, if they are ready. But also I am there sitting with them, holding their hands when they feel like I want to kill myself.
Mm.
Because I have a lot of women coming to me, but also a lot of men coming to me who have never felt safe.
Mm.
And this is the story of my life. I've never felt safe because of all what happened. And this is what my main power is, I guess, is that I can keep them safe.
Yeah.
And when you are feeling safe, you are willing and open to release what you do not longer need.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of people also with immune system problems, like autoimmune diseases, people with where they do not need, they are not really sick, but they feel like lost.
Mm.
And yeah, that's the kind of
Yeah.
people that I work with.
So how would, in your experience, so for those who are watching who don't really understand what we mean by hidden and locked memories, in a nutshell, that's memories of past things that have happened to us in the past that get locked in the subconscious so that we cannot recall them within our conscious memory, and yet those memories are still almost dictating how we react and respond to things around us, completely unawares. So I guess one of the questions is, how might someone know that they've got hidden or locked memories? What might be occurring in their life? And yeah, so in your
First of all,
experience,
it
yeah.
is when children upon just up to the age of 6 or 7 almost all have hidden or locked memories, because the function of the brain is then mostly in the subconscious mind. So everything that happens will be stored in either your body or in the subconscious brain. And the subconscious brain is not the brain that is going to tell you.
Yeah.
This is more a feeling brain. So it will occur in waking up every morning and feeling horror, or waking up or going somewhere and having like being claustrophobic, having fears, huge fears, habits. If you are really open for addictions, that's also a sign that there could be something hidden. And most people are really afraid of these phrases, because what they think might happen is, when they start working on it, that the can of worms will open and they are going to drown in it. And my personal experience is that this is not going to happen. What is going to happen is there will be either visual things like images, or there's feelings, and they will never be brought together. So it's not like you're going back and you're reliving these memories,
Yeah.
because there was a reason why they were locked.
Yeah.
But what we can do is like if you imagine a balloon, we are going to make a small hole in it, and then it will just deflate in the time phrase that you need to let it deflate.
Yeah. I love that image actually. That, yeah,
Yeah,
it feels really, really gentle. So
please.
Margarita, if anyone would like to find out more about working with you and what it is that you do, what's the best way of getting in touch with you?
You can find me on Facebook. When you search for my name, Margarita van der Harst. And if you're English, you're not going to remember this. So you can also go to my Facebook page, www.soulreleasingpsychic.com. This is my website where you can read a few of my blogs. And you can also, if you really want to get in contact, we can get you on a free call so that we can get to know each other, because that's what I find really important, that there is a connection.
That's wonderful. Thank you. And I will pop the links in the comments box to your website. So thank you, Margarita.
You're welcome.
And I now have the absolute pleasure of introducing Amanda Farrar. And Amanda, you are a soul alignment coach. Have you always been a soul alignment coach?
Well, I guess in a way I have, but I haven't in essence. So hi everybody, I'm Amanda Farrar, as Jen says, and I have spent the last 20 odd years in a therapeutic role, basically helping. I was born into quite a disconnected family, and that from non-physical, and they're still very disconnected. And I had quite a journey up until my mid-20s, and then I had when I was completely disconnected as well, and then I had an awakening. I always call that my first awakening, because that was the time that I met an ex-boyfriend, and I had a miscarriage, and it shifted my perception of the world, the feelings that I had at the time. And I picked up a book at Jill Edwards, Stepping into the Magic. I still remember it, and it changed my life to understand that everything that we do in our life we create everything through our thoughts, our feelings, and some of it's manifested, pre-manifested, predetermined. Honestly, it was mind-blowing, and it triggered. So up until that point, I was working in advertising. I was a media buyer, spending millions of pounds on advertising space, buying it. And I retrained to become an acupuncturist, trained in Reiki, trained in massage, and left the acupuncture business and set up. And I've been doing that up until literally this month, because I've been working side by side over the last 2 years on working as the soul aligned coaching. I've been doing it for 20 years, working primarily as an acupuncturist. But I did more than just acupuncture. I was always coaching people to connect, coaching. And probably about 10 years ago, because I spent a lot of time helping women become pregnant. And it was not anything that I ever drove. It wasn't something that I drove, but it just happened that I started to attract a whole load of clients who were struggling to conceive, and they would get pregnant. And I now understand why, because my non-physical team, that's their passion. My higher self, Angela, she has a passion for conception and creation, and she's also she amplifies the energy of the acupuncture. So what was happening was people would come to me, and within weeks, months, they would be pregnant, and they'd been trying for years and years to conceive. So now what I do is I'm helping women to become consciously whole, connecting to alignment. So when they're consciously whole, the high vibrational energies that are wanting to come into the world. I know it sounds a bit wacky, but your child is not brand new to this earth. your child is an incredible energy soul that has trained and can't wait to get onto the physical. And I'm here, and up until many parents have been chosen because of their disconnection. And now my passion is to help them become connected and consciously whole, so that when their babies arrive, they can help their children be consciously whole straight away, basically. So to remember who they are as almost instantly, and to be able to connect to their children on a different level, so that they can actually grow up without the need for going through a whole load of awakening process, because they're already awakened, because their mum understands their not. And I tend to work with women more than men, but men just go along with it when it in this situation. So I also am passionate about helping people connect to who they truly are, and I can, whether that be in their business life or whether that in their home life, because I can see a vision, and I actually think it's to do with I've got Gabriel is one of my guides, and Archangel Gabriel has this ability to see in the future and to see the light in the future, and I can literally see, and I can see all the lines of what's going to go in, and I can help them get to that point where they completely know what's going on in the future. So whether that's with their business, can help them move in that direction, or whether that's with simply just wanting a different house or a different home or whatever, or anything else that's making them happy. To make them happy, it's usually business led, to be fair. It's usually what's going to make them really joyous in living their lives. So I work with a vast majority of different issues, but always looking at helping them let go of what was, and living in the now, which is I guess what we all do, isn't it?
Yeah. And because I think that, you know, when you're working with someone who has that ability to see the true potential for people, and I know that it's a term that a lot of coaches use, you know, I can see your potential. This is different, because I've experienced that, where you meet someone and it's almost like you are connected and you see this whole visual of who they could become, and the steps that they need to get there. And I know that when I've experienced it, it comes very, very fast. Now, the power of that when you're working one-to-one with someone is tremendous, because what often happens is, you know, when you're working with clients, you've got to get through a lot of the shit, shall we say. First of all, you got to clear that out before you're able to truly align to, you know, what it is, your purpose, what your soul, what you were here born to be. So having someone like yourself being able to hold that vision for them while they're going through that shit is just remarkable, because it's more than words, isn't it?
It's definitely more than words. It's an energy of hope.
Yeah.
And it's all about bringing the hope in. In fact, I have a whole team. There's an unknown archangel called Miramana, who's one of my guides, and she's a collective, and it's all about hope. She literally brings the energy and vibration of hope into the work that I do. In fact, basically what I can do is that everyone has a different skill in their healing abilities. And my skill is to work with this team of incredible non-physical who all bring different colours. But my skill is to actually harness the energy of the earth, but the different specific colours. And I work with different, so basically we're bringing heaven and earth together in the healing to blast out anything that's stopping you from being in alignment, basically. And apparently, Angela, my higher self, has been training for years, millennia, to do this, to bring it into the earth plane. And apparently I know all about it, and I'm harnessing it now more than ever before, and it's been fantastic to utilize. But bringing her, it's really interesting because one of the guys that comes in, she brings a really beautiful blue, and she brings this hope energy. So I've got several guys that bring hope into it, and I think it's because it's so important for you to have hope. Hold the hope, so that actually in reality you can let go of the crap. You can really sort of go there and let go of it, because it is crap. It really is, isn't it?
Yeah. And I'm really being drawn to ask you what the White Witch wisdom in the background is all about, because it keeps kind of going flickering in and out of focus. So I know that I'm being drawn to ask you about that.
So I was given a dream, 2014, the name of a business, White Witch Wisdom. And I basically, it's my passion. I love it, but I'm not a witch. Witches were never witches. Witches were consciously whole.
Yeah.
But I have come from this basis. So for 20 years, I've followed spiritual. This is, you reincarnate. There's so many mistranslations in those 20 years that I have now completely understand the truth of. Really understand the truth of, and I absolutely one of the things that I do is I've got the Magical School of Manifesting, and it's basically to attract women who are of the belief that I used to be, so they can understand the truth now of what it is, to really understand the truth. And that's why I feel I was very guided to set up White Witch Wisdom. Any woman that feels like she was a witch in a past life, who is doing spiritual stuff, who is not consciously whole, I'm attracted to help them bring in. So it seems like Angela and I have set up a big task. We're going to be re-educating people to the truth, really, the real truth of the real translation of it's our higher selves that have new incarnations. We are eternal. We only have one incarnation. That is a real fantastic thing that many spiritual people would never understand. Many spiritual people I've known about higher self since 1997 didn't really get it. I was frightened. I thought it was going to take me over. So there's many people out there that are incredibly intuitive, incredibly understanding of it, but only to a certain extent, because there's been so much misinformation. Like Archangel Gabriel, it's actually a female, not a male, and that's been mistranslated. So that's why the White Witch Wisdom is the platform that I'm using to work with women. Because I think it's going to be a big shift, and it's important for us if we really truly want that 5-dimensional earth. We all need to understand the truth, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And what the sense I make of it, because I know that one of my higher selves past incarnations, I was branded as a witch and burnt at the stake, and the sense that I make of it was they were healers. They weren't witches. They were healers.
They were never witches. They were healers. They were midwives. They were herbalists. They were literally the most powerful, but they were connected. They were consciously whole. They used the earth energy. They connected to God. They used their higher selves. They used their non-physical team. And it was frightening, because I've had every soul contract reading, Akashic Records reading I've always had a reading where so Angela's had incarnations a number of times where she was classed as a witch and killed for being a witch. And it's massively important that I want people to understand who they really were. A witch is actually just an incredibly powerful, aligned superwoman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Absolutely. And and it was interesting. I recently had an Akashic reading myself, and came to the understanding that many of my higher selves, previous incarnations, I was a healer, working with the natural elements, working with nature.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense to me now, because I feel, you know, particularly with my own physical health and dietary needs, I don't look up stuff. I don't Google it anymore. I just feel like I'm guided to what I need.
Yeah.
And it's quite, of course, because I'm drawing on all of this, you know, experience from past experience from my higher self. She's had so many incarnations, and once
Yeah.
you really establish that connection with the higher self, it's like you're tapping into all of that wisdom from, like you say, millennia.
Yeah.
So yeah, why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? So thank you
Exactly.
so
Pleasure.
much, Amanda. And yeah, so if someone wants to work with you, wants to find out a little bit more about what you do, what's the best way of finding out and getting in touch with you?
Probably the best way is on whitewitchwisdom.com.
Yeah,
That's my website, and they will be taken to understand a bit more about what I do, basically. So that'll
okay,
be
brilliant.
great. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you both. And just before we sign off, just a little bit about me. Bear with me, because I've only got a few bits of battery life yet. I am on my canal boat during one of the hottest days we've had in the UK, and my solar panels have packed up, and it's the joys. I would not have it any other way. But before we sign off, I just wanted to share that one of the things that I'm focusing very much on these days, so I've moved away from doing the emotional freedom technique to working with the higher self. And so what I'm offering at the moment is weekly emotional and physical healing, and drawing on some of the unique capabilities that I'm able to harness. And I've been trained in non-physical by the Ascended Soul of Abraham. So anyone who's a big Esther and Jerry Hicks fan, it's the Ascended Soul of Abraham Collective has been training me in specific healing abilities. And for those who experienced the initial phase of it, they were like, wow, this is so powerful. And that was just a few months ago, and since then I've been practicing and harnessing even more abilities. One of them, which I'm really excited about, is harnessing the lightning energy and using it specifically to help repair nerve damage. And it's something that I'm working on myself, because I've had a lot of back pain where the low vibration over the years has been stored and impacted on sciatic nerves and other nerves kind of branching off from it. So that's really exciting. And it's a bit of a, what my higher self is sort of saying is that, particularly with physical healing, so often people can go for, whether it's massages or acupuncture or whatever physical healing is, and they expect an instant repair. They expect an instant healing. It Imagine the amount of years and low vibration that has been stored to create this physical manifestation. It's not going to go just overnight. And so quite often, you know, you have to be prepared to work with it long term, which is one of the things that I've been doing with my leg, and I'm being drawn to kind of share that. I first started noticing that one of the things that happened with, I had a slip disc between L4 and 5, which was impacting on the sciatic nerve. Now, I've had that pain for gosh, 9 years. So 9 years. And after 7 years, it started impacting, and the muscles at the top of my left leg were starting to concave where there was so much damage. And I was working with Olivia Akanya from Fifth Dimension Earth, and she started helping me with a guided healing practice to undo that damage. And it's almost back to normal now. So, and that's been working on it for 18 months. So quite often when we've got the physical manifestation of low vibration that's happened, it can take time to undo the damage. So yeah, so if anyone's interested in the emotional physical healing, I do weekly sessions on a Thursday. There is one today, but time's running out now to be booked up on it. But every Thursday, 1:30 p.m. British Summer Time, and that's via Zoom. I'm also being guided to share that I have a very special one-to-one offer for anyone who's interested. So anyone who's worked a lot on the emotional side of a physical problem, what I can do is create bespoke healing, guided healing. So we have a quick one-to-one to really unpick what's going on physically, and then my team share a guided practice. And at the moment, that's this week and next week, it's a very special offer, £33. Oh my goodness. And you've got this practice for life. So if you're interested, please do pop a message in the comments box or send me a private message. And there is a time limit on it because, like I say, I'm on the boat. I know that up until the 4th of July, I'll have good signal. Where I move to next, who knows? So thank you both so much, Amanda and Margarita, for joining me today. And yeah, look forward to seeing more about how your businesses blossom in the future. Take care, and thanks for joining us.